I now introduce you to Sharon and Szalai.
Hello. Hi. Can everybody hear me? Do I need to talk louder? Okay. Well, welcome. I'm here today to talk to you about diversion in design, especially in the healthcare industry. Can design impact and affect your well-being, your health? Now, we all go to the doctor, sometimes just for a normal checkup, not too stressful. But when you're sick and something's wrong with you, you go to the doctor, you're grumpy, you're at the visit, maybe have a long wait, you're nervous, you leave, you go home, you're worrisome, you might have to get meds, you don't know if you're going to get better, you don't know what you have. All that's very stressful. So as we designers, can we impact your visit? Can we help you reduce that anxiety? When I was a kid, I absolutely hated going to the doctor. My doctor's office, architecture on the outside, was brown brick, brown windows, 2 stories. The interior architecture was not any better. The waiting room was small, beige-colored walls, hardwood seats to sit in, some Lincoln Logs, yes, I'm dating myself here, Legos, puzzles. That was the best thing about the waiting room. The exam room wasn't any better. Beige walls again, except for that eye chart on the wall. We know what we're talking about here, right? The alphabet. So that left a lasting impression on me. I didn't like going to the doctor, and here I am today as an architect designing in healthcare. Do you think that had an impact on me? What's my motivation? To make it better for you, the patient. I recently was at a healthcare design conference in Florida. We just returned. And interesting enough, there was a seminar where they talked about the situation of an induction room for PET scans. There was patient A, patient B. I found this really interesting, and this is just perfect about what I'm going to talk about and show you. But in an induction room, you're there for an hour, okay? And we all know why you're getting a PET scan. You're either being diagnosed to see if you have a tumor, or you've had cancer, and it's being used to see if the cancer tumor or cancer is in regression or progression. So in this study, patient A was in a room without any diversion by design. It was a plain room. And they tell you, you got to sit in this room for an hour, and think pleasant thoughts, and be calm. Really? I know I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be life-changing, what's going to happen, I'm thinking about my future. It's not too calm, it's very difficult to do that. Patient B was in a room where they did principles of diversion. Above the ceiling, they had blue cobalt lighting, making the room glow blue. A TV was up on the ceiling. The wall in front of them had animation projected on it, not cartoons. But out like the ocean, rolling ashore, mountainscape, birds, nature. Well, the scan of that person came out clean, with exception of perhaps the tumor itself. Patient A, who had all the anxiety, and was trying hard to calm down, but just couldn't. The anxiety and stress took over. Your body creates shadows within the muscles. So the scan showed shadows and tumors, and the physicians couldn't determine, well, is there something with the shadows or not? So guess what? That patient has to go home and come back and go through this all over again. Diversion by design. Patient B, that's where I want to be. So, I'm going to go through some projects here and show you some principles that we use in diversion to help relax children, what causes interest. There is no magic recipe for this other than being a design professional and having to know when it's too much or not enough. So Sandeep, if you could progress to, yes, this is a breast center. Can everybody see? It's a waiting room. Soft curves, textured wall, accent lighting. So in your waiting room, you're feeling, a little comfortable. The next slide. Actually go into the exam room itself. No one likes getting mammograms. Nature. Go back. One more, backwards. Yeah. Nature. Large flower murals were used outside of each exam room. The color of the flowers then used within the exam room. Very soft, soothing. Next one. This project is in Chesapeake. We had an opportunity to make a real connection with the community in Chesapeake. This is for our local children's hospital, the King's Daughters. And this project was interesting to us because we wanted to make a real connection with Chesapeake. The outside of the building, remember my childhood, the boring two-story building, brown brick. I didn't want to go through it. I wanted to create the building as a piece of artwork. So when you drove up to the building, you see glimpses of something inside that causes interest. You want to go in. A lot of natural daylighting. All the exam rooms in this facility have natural daylighting. When you walk through the, next slide, when you walk through the entrance, you're greeted by this, smiling faces of children. So if you think as a child who's stressed about going to see the doctor, they're feeling a little bit better, their fellow kids smiling at them. By the way, these photographs are actually of children from Chesapeake that volunteered for the photography work. The next slide. We use murals, floor to ceiling. This mural outside the clinic actually shows an activity of a child depicting the nature of the clinic itself. Go ahead. The lobby, open and spacious, natural daylighting coming in, color. The floor lines are diagonal to show visual interest, all detracting your eye away from why you are there. Building blocks. Do you see it? Behind the patient registration area, all bright colors. This was a project within Children's Hospital in Norfolk. It was a radiology renovation project. We decided to blow up underwater creatures on the floor pattern and paint the walls with murals. The children actually follow the fish and animals around the floor and skip to the exam rooms. Again, diverting their attention away from what's coming. Go ahead, next one. We created portals in the wall with live photography of fish behind it to make it look like they're underwater, looking into the ocean, like a submarine they have. The MRI room has a big mural behind it, which is a beach scene, sun, beach, palm trees. As you see around the floor, we created a boat with oars. So the staff can tell the child, okay, it's time to get on the boat, we're going somewhere. Again, taking their mind off things. This is the last one I'm going to show you, and we won a national award for this one, which was at the conference I just returned from in Florida. This is the PICU, Pediatric Intensive Care Unit for Children's Hospital. As you see, this is a before picture. This is a patient room. The floor tile, the walls, a lot of equipment. In the hallways, the lighting is very dark, the walls were blue. It really needed a facelift. Now, this is on the 3rd floor of the hospital, and CHKD has different themes for different floors. One works. This one is amazing. So my great staff, I work really well with my senior interior designer, Kimberly Bernheimer. She and I worked great, and we were thinking, wow, we got to come up with a great idea that's inspiring. You got very sick children here. Some not everyone makes it. You know, the stress is with the family, because the patients are in the room, the children, most likely they're not awake. So the patient rooms, the family can stay with them. The nurse, the doctors, all the staff, they too are in a high stress situation, dealing with, you know, immediate situations where they got to save a life. So we came up with the idea of the Northern Lights. It's an amazing thing to see in reality, and we figured out how to adopt that to this project. This is a patient room. The before picture you saw, this is the after picture. Bright colors. The family chair, this one has a chair, some have sofas. But this whole corridor looks out onto the nurse stations. Nurse stations are centralized. The lights above, you see there in green, they change colors, the Northern Lights. Slowly, not fast like a disco. Slowly, from green to blue to orange to red. We created the equipment away in the nurse station, so they're not out in the hallway now. Everything's nice and clear. So patients look into the space and see the color lights changing. The staff are affected by the color lights changing, soothing their anxiety, making them less stressful. Okay, maybe there was one more, maybe there wasn't. So, back to when I was a child, now do you think that my childhood impression has impacted me and inspires me to really come up with a solution that exceeds the client's expectations, to enhance the stay of the patient themselves? Getting awards is great. We're very thankful for it. But the ultimate reward is when the patient themselves acknowledges it. With this project here, there was a mother with her child in the unit who had, I guess, lived in Alaska or Iceland, but did witness the Northern Lights. I haven't. I'd like to one day. But she stayed there, and she told the facility that we could not have picked a better design idea for a unit of this type being intensive care. And it did work for her. It did calm her down when her child was struggling for their life. So I challenge you to go out after this, knowing some of the principles that I talked about: shape, form, color, lighting, texture. And look at your environment. Look at your surroundings. Take it home with you. Search out medical facilities that are practicing these good design principles, that are using diversion in their facility. It does affect your health. With that, thank you, and good health to you.